The fastest and biggest lever you can pull in your business to almost instantly overnight increase your profitability is to raise your prices. I'm gonna walk you through 5 startling lessons I've learned as I've 5x'd my prices over the past couple of years. And I think these will serve you in helping more people and building a great business. So just very quickly, a little bit of backstory. I started off as an underpaid, overworked personal trainer making about 20 bucks an hour, and I was grinding away for about 7 years. Not a lot of fun, okay? And I was very hesitant to increase my prices because I just didn't think people were gonna pay that, or I thought I was gouging people. And so if you've ever felt like that, I completely understand what you might be thinking. When I came online in 2005, I started off by selling eBooks for 10 bucks, 27 bucks, $47. And I did that for a very long time. And eventually, after many years of struggle and poverty line income, eventually built it into a multiple 7-figure business. But it was really, really hard to sell high volumes of very inexpensive stuff. And nowadays with AI, when someone can just type something into ChatGPT, it's rendering ebooks and most courses almost obsolete as we speak. Third, when I started Healthpreneur, we started off with our main coaching program, which is now the Health Business Accelerator. That started off as a 2-day live workshop. And it was only priced at, I think it was just under $5,000 at the time. And it was awesome. It was 2 days live in person. It was great. And now we charge significantly more than that for the same vehicle. And I want to be very clear about that. It's not like we're doing something different in what we're sharing in the vehicle we're helping our clients with. But I'm gonna walk you through exactly why that transition has happened, the lessons I've learned in this process, and how it's actually helped our clients, and more importantly for you, how raising your prices is not only good for your business, but it's good for your customers and clients. So let's dive into this. So the first big lesson that I've realized is that price will always be an issue for some people, no matter what the price is. So my thinking was, if I charge 100 bucks and people are gonna object to that, if I charge 500 bucks, people are gonna object to that, if I charge 5,000, 10,000, 20,000, 50,000, people are gonna object to it, but it doesn't matter what the price is, there will always be the flip side of that coin where there are people who are like, that's fair, let's do this. Why would I choose to sell something super cheap if people are still gonna say it's too expensive? And that was a decision that I made. Is like, if people are gonna say it's too expensive, why don't I just keep increasing the price and going up market to continually find better clients to work with? And that was a huge eye opener for me. And it took me a very long time to get there because I was the person who wanted to save everyone. I wanted to help everyone. And I knew that even if they couldn't afford it, I could help them. No, it took me a long time to realize the people who need your help the most very often want it the least. And that's just the sad facts of human nature. The second startling lesson that I want to share with you is that it's never about the price, it's about the value. So if someone says 100 bucks is too expensive, well, maybe for this felt coaster it is, but what about for my computer? No, a $100 computer would be a steal. What's the difference? It's the inherent value that we attribute to each of those items. So when I think of a computer, I think of what this is gonna give me in return in terms of output at work, all the stuff it gives me access to. When I think of this felt coaster, what's the value I'm getting from this? It's gonna save the wood. It's gonna save the wood. Cool, great. I'm not gonna pay 100 bucks for that. So remember, value is in the eye of the beholder to some degree. But nonetheless, what I'm suggesting here is that do not lower and discount your prices because some people say it's too expensive. You wanna be able to distinguish, can you afford it, or you just don't see the value? Because if someone says this is out of my budget, I can't afford it, there's nothing you can do about that. That's their problem. If they say it's too expensive, that's your problem. Because what it means is they haven't seen the value in what you're offering, or you haven't done a good enough job communicating it. So there's 2 things we want to do here. Number 1 is we want to build massive amounts of value into what it is you're selling and get better at clarifying and articulating, communicating that value so the other person understands it. Because there's one thing of you saying it and it's them understanding it and receiving it, which is a different thing. As an example, so when we were getting the designs for our house in Mexico, so we're building on the Pacific Ocean, the initial architectural conversation was around, this number of bedrooms, we wanted this amount of square footage, and this was kind of the budget we're thinking about. And because we're building on cliffside, obviously there's a lot of geographic things that the architects have to take into consideration. When they brought the plan back to us, they showed us something that was so friggin' incredible beyond what we could even imagine. But the thing is that it was 6,000 more square feet than we had initially talked about. And then that meant an additional price hike. But here's the thing, is that my wife and I were like, just make it happen. do it, because we recognized that what they had proposed was infinitely more valuable to the type of house and lifestyle that we wanted to set up versus what we had initially thought about. And this is an example of, even though it was more expensive, it wasn't an issue because we saw the value in having that increased amount of space and the way that it was laid out. So it's never about the price, it's about the value. How do you make your program, your product more valuable? Well, you make it faster, you make it more convenient, you think about what's important to this prospective client, and you give them more certainty that they will achieve that outcome with this thing. And those are all factors in value. I have other videos that talk about this, so if you want to go through those, I'm sure there's somewhere on the channel. The third lesson was, I alluded to this earlier, I was never going to help everyone anyways. It took me 10 years to recognize that maybe selling low price information is a complete waste of time. Number one, no one reads it or pays attention to it because it's 47 bucks, 15 bucks, 100 bucks, whatever. Who cares, right? There's no skin in the game. Second, if you know anything about direct response, you got a sales page, you have this nice long sales message, you have a buy now button at the bottom with this awesome guarantee. If you don't like it, we'll give you your money back and we'll pay for your kids' tuition, whatever. And still, maybe 1 to 2% of people will buy a $47 ebook. And that was back in the day when you could sell ebooks. So what does that tell you? That tells you that 98% of people either didn't trust you enough, believe in the product, or the price was too much. They weren't willing to take the risk. And so that's why I decided to sell that business, because it was a friggin' nightmare. And eventually I realized, again, I said I'm a little bit slow, right? Eventually I realized I'm not gonna help everyone, so why don't I choose who I wanna work with and just work with them? And that's really been the transition with healthpreneurs. Like, we don't have any $97 courses. Like, you work with us at the highest level or we don't work together at all. And that's fine, because that leads me to my fourth lesson, which is the more I can fill up my cup, the more I can give away to everyone else, and most of it for free. In Healthpreneur, we work very closely with our clients. Group coaching, highly personalized, high touch. It's an incredible system to help you get clients and scale your online business, whatever. But there's nothing underneath that. And you may have seen other people talk about build an ascension funnel, get people into a free 5-day challenge so they trust you, and then they'll pay $97 and then $497. And eventually, after several centuries, they'll trust you enough to pay premium prices. Well, we said, fuck that. Let's try something different. Let's say you have a problem, we have a solution, it's priced this amount, and if you can't afford it, if you don't see the value, we're not working together. And that's it. And that's how we built our 8-figure business. So my philosophy is offer the best possible thing you can to once and for all eradicate the problem your clients are coming to you wanting to solve. Not just a piece of it, like not an ebook, not a pamphlet. Eradicate the problem. Charge a premium price and think about, what could I offer these clients that would make it near impossible for them to fail? And what would that price look like? And if that makes sense to you, go for it. For most of our clients, we recommend charging a minimum of $3,000, and that's a very arbitrary number that we're pulling out of thin air, to be honest, right? Because pricing is not about how much that person is charging or what the market going rate is. It's 100% between your ears. It's a philosophical decision. And obviously what you want to think about, if you're charging $3K, you want to be able to provide 10 to 100 times as much value in return. So if you think about someone wanting to lose weight, they might be thinking, oh, $3,000 is a lot of money. You have to do a better job at articulating why $3,000 is actually a $300,000 problem you're helping them solve. Because if they're overweight, they're gonzo in terms of they're not going to stick around on this planet very long. And what does that mean to their family? What does that mean to their kids? How do they feel on a daily basis when they look in the mirror? Whatever the conversation needs to be. But it's about, when people give you a problem, give them a bigger problem. They're giving you the problem of this is too much. No. This is nothing compared to this problem you said you have. And the easiest way to do this is make it about their livelihood. So if someone you are working with in a health perspective is compromised because of their health condition with respect to their work and their livelihood, all of a sudden the conversation is no longer a health improvement conversation. This is a career saving conversation. Let me get back to this fourth lesson, is you can fill up your cup. So if I have a water bottle here, and right now it's, a quarter full, I can only help a certain number of people outside of, what I have. But if people come to me and they're like, hey man, I'd love your help. Like, I'd love your stuff. If I have no water here, I can't give them any water. So how do I fill up my water bottle? Well, I got to do what I got to do. In the case of the real world is we exchange our service or value in exchange for money. Someone pays to work with you for you to do some magic for them. They pay you money, and the more money they pay you, the more you're able to fill up your cup. You want to be able to fill up your cup to such a degree that you don't necessarily have to worry about the day-to-day expenses. You don't have to worry about the necessities of life. You have all that covered and then some. Because the nice thing about having your cup full is that you don't have to worry about charging $100 for small things. You just give it away because the juice is not worth the squeeze. Like, am I going to build a whole funnel and a whole other customer support team to support a couple $100 products? No. Just take the whole thing for free. And whenever you're ready, you can work with us at the highest level when you're ready for real results. So that's my philosophy, but you can't get there when you are charging pennies. Don't become a martyr in the service of other people. The best thing you can do for yourself and others is to charge premium prices. Your clients will show up better. You will attract better clients. They will do the work. They will get results. They will rave about your business and your offering, assuming you're good at what you do and they get results. That's not going to happen when you offer garbage at low prices. Now, I'm not saying you're offering garbage, but in my experience, is not worth the squeeze. All right, I'm gonna show you something else. I'm gonna draw this out on the iPad, and hopefully this will kind of sink in from a profitability perspective of your business. I want you to think of the things that you want to enjoy in life, whether it's traveling or buying a new house or a new car or hiring a private chef, whatever it is. Think about what that's gonna cost you, right? 10 grand, 15 grand, whatever it is. So in your business, let's say you're charging 5K, okay? And right now that 5K generates 100K in income. And after all your expenses, you keep 50K profit. So your profit margins are good, 50%, not bad. But watch what happens in this scenario. So let's say that we increase the price. I'm gonna zoom out a little bit here. So now let's say that we increase the price of your program to 6K. And for the same number of clients, so we had 5K is 100,000, so 20 clients. So we do 6K times 20 clients gives us 120K income. Business revenue. Now, assuming all else is equal, this is what I talked about at the beginning. This is the biggest lever you can pull in your business. All the expenses, everything stays the same. All we've done is change the price by $1,000. Nothing else in the business changes, nor does it have to. So 120,000 income, we've just added 20,000 extra dollars of top line. That goes right to the profit. So now your profit is 70K. So we've added $20,000 additional profit. And the cool thing about this is the profitability of the business is now no longer 50%, right? 50 out of 100, it's 70 out of 120, which is whatever that is. It's somewhere in the neighborhood of like 65 to 70%. I'll just call it 65. So the profit margin of your business increases dramatically, which is awesome. But more importantly, you have 20,000 extra dollars that you can literally do whatever you want with. You can reinvest into the business. That can be someone's salary for 3-4 months. Or you could take that profit out of the business, do whatever you want with it. Invest it in some type of investment, or you could invest it in advertising to further propagate your marketing. Or you could take it out and build a pool. I don't know, whatever you want to do. I'm saying here, the fastest way to bring more profit into your business is simply to increase your prices. And if you're hesitant in doing so, please also understand that you're already undercharging. I don't know you and I don't know what it is you're offering, but I can promise you, having worked with a lot of people, and if you're a health professional, I am willing to put money on the table to say that you're undercharging, to transform someone's health, how they feel about themselves, how they feel in their own skin, the confidence they have. How do you put a price tag on that? It's not $3,000. It's millions. And it's your ability to have that conviction, those conversations to show that value so the right people actually get it. So fill up your cup so that first and foremost, increase the profitability you have in your business. And because you have more to give, you can give. Think about those who donate the most money. How do they donate? Because they have money. You can't donate something you don't have. So if you want to give to others, take care of yourself first. And the fifth startling lesson, I've already alluded to this, is that the more you charge, the better the results your clients will get. This is literally cause and effect. It's actually so powerful. And why this is, and I've talked about this in other videos, is that money is the ultimate leverage, right? We value money arguably more than anything else in terms of like tangible things. So if someone values money, and if you ask them to pay for something in money, they have leverage over themselves now that they don't want to waste that money. So they'll go to great lengths to make the most of it. When I was personal training clients back in this 20 years ago, I had a client who I saw him 3 days a week on paper, but on average, I saw him 1.5 days a week. Do you know why? Because he didn't show up at half the sessions, and it was disrespectful and it pissed me off. You know how I could have got him to show up? I could have charged him 5 times as much. Because in most personal training worlds, when you don't show up, you still get charged for the session. And most people would just give you a heads up anyways, but not this guy. And if I had charged him 2, 3, 5 times as much, I promise you, he would have been like, you know what, I'm gonna get dinged for this, so I should probably just go work out anyways. And that's what happens. If it's an insignificant amount of money to someone, they're gonna invest an insignificant amount of their time to make whatever they need to make happen. So by charging more, you will get people to pay more attention to the process and ultimately get the outcome that they want. And that is good. Check this out. There's been studies done on this around tuition. And there was a study that looked at parents who covered the tuition of their kids. And they found that on average, parents who cover the tuition for their kids, the kids ended up getting a lower GPA in college. Does that make sense? Well, it does. Because remember this, if the kids don't pay, who cares, right? The kids have no skin in the game. It's the same reason why people who rent generally take worse care of where they live than if you actually owned the property or the home. If you own it, you have a sense of ownership. Does that make sense? So this is why we don't value what we don't pay money for. And the less we pay, the less we pay attention. And I understand that not everyone's gonna be able to afford your services. But again, your job is not to help everyone. First and foremost, your job is to help yourself. And the only way you help yourself is by helping people solve a problem at a profit. Who do you want to help? That's your choice. There's no gun to your head that says you must serve everyone. It's like, no. I have this skill set. I can identify a problem over here that people need solving. I'm going to charge a premium price to work with only the best of the best who want to solve it now, and that's it. So that's at least my perspective on this. Those are 5 lessons I've learned as we have 5x'd our prices over the past couple of years. I hope this video finds you well. And if you want to learn how to price your coaching program, if you're wondering like, how exactly do I price it, etc., watch the next video because I'm going to give you a bit more of a tactical breakdown of pricing strategies and how to think through presenting that and thinking through that for your specific business. So that video is coming up over here. But in the meantime, hit that subscribe button. Hope you've enjoyed this one, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video right here.